Hi and welcome to Online Appliance Tech. Today we're going to work on the Frigidaire Gallery refrigerator that's not cooling. First thing you want to do on this one is put it in diagnostic mode to try to turn on the compressor. You'll hold these two buttons down. They're up and down arrows. Once diagnostic is activated, you'll press this arrow to move up to test mode 38. So you'll go to test mode 38. Once you get to test mode 38, you'll press the set button to turn it on. At this moment, you should hear the compressor turn on in the back. If not, you'll just remove these quarter bit screws and remove the back panel. So as you can see here, the compressor is not vibrating, and right here I'm going to do some electrical checks. If you have a multimeter that can read DC and AC current, you can also check this. I will leave a link in below for a multimeter if you're interested in buying one. But more likely it's going to be this inverter. It is a very common problem for these units. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to check for AC current. So make sure your multimeter is set to AC. Right here you should receive 120 volts, and as you can see we got 114. That's good enough. So we got the voltage. So this is a supply to the inverter, which turns the power from 120 to 240. So now we're going to check the signal. This takes a little bit smaller of a prong, so I'm going to switch my prongs out real quick. And here from the main board I should get anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5 DC volts, which activates the inverter to turn on the compressor. So if I get the voltage both ways and the compressor is not turning on, 99.9 is the inverter. More than likely the compressors, they never go bad. The inverter takes the beating, I guess you would say, and which is a good thing. This way it doesn't destroy the compressor but the inverter. Actually, I have been noticing a lot of these problems where the fan blades come off the motor, the condenser motor, which causes the system to overheat, which causes, as you can see, you turn it but it's off. And this is actually the second one this week I ran into with the same problem. So basically it cannot remove heat, and it puts a lot of stress on the compressor, which destroys the inverter, which is a good thing that the inverter goes out and not the compressor. So definitely check this out. If it is off, just put it back on there well, and then just spin it with your hand. I don't know why these are coming off, but like I said, this is the second one this week I've ran into the same problem. So just slide it back on there well, and then spin it with your hand to make sure it doesn't fall off. I don't know if they're just having a off day at the factory, but this is definitely a little bit of a expensive repair if you have someone come out. So right down here at the bottom, actually, let me show you this. This is a service manual. So if you put your hand up under here, there's a little plastic bag with the paperwork. So if you have a different type of issue or you want to check more things out in your fridge, you can actually put in diagnostic mode, which I showed you at the beginning. And you can see this list of chart like test mode 8 or test mode 9. And it'll show you exactly how to put in those tests. However, back to topic, the fan is working, as you can see it's working, so the motor is actually good. It's just the fan blade fell off, so obviously it's not removing no heat. So at this point I'm going to unplug it and I'm going to remove the inverter. So you have these two clips, you have your DC and your AC, so you'll just clip both of these off. You do have a ground wire on this one. I'll show you a little trick here how to get this thing out because it's kind of tight. And one thing you don't want to do is bend the copper lines or anything like that. You can have a restriction then. So this you just clip down and pull out. I'm trying to do it with one hand, but obviously that's harder to do. I'm just trying to give you a good angle, but I'll have to use two hands to press down and pull out. There we go. Let me see if I can get a better view. Yeah, this should work. And there we go. Yeah, just clip it off. Obviously, definitely make sure you unplug it. You'll get shocked. And then you have a Phillips here that you have to remove this. This inverter actually screws into the compressor. As you can see right there, the little Phillips. So you'll have to take a hand tool or a drill and remove that. So let me give you a better angle. So yeah, just remove that, put that somewhere safe, because when you install the new inverter, you will need to install the same screw. So this inverter you'll lift up and just kind of put it to the side, and you'll have the prong. Try to move everything out of the way. There we go. So you have this prong that connects to the compressor. You can take a flathead and kind of pry a little bit on the top of it, and in the bottom you don't want to just go all the way from the top, because you can bend the prong on the compressor. So just kind of work your way up and down, pry it off. And then you have a ground wire that you have to remove too. Let me see if I can get you a better view of this. So as you can see, it's kind of sliced. So I'm going to work from the top and the bottom, but I'm going to get the ground off too. So just try to leverage that flathead against something, but don't leverage it against the copper line, because you can bend it or even cut the line and all the freon will come out. So just definitely take your time, have a little patience. So we're going to remove this ground wire. The ground wire that comes from the inverter mounts into the back housing, but it's hard to get to. So we're just going to cut the ground wire that comes from the inverter. This way we can remove this inverter, and the new inverter obviously come with a new line, and we'll just ground it off in the front. So once cut, you just pull the inverter kind of up and over. Here, let me show you. So everything's disconnected, so you'll pull it straight up and just kind of set it on top of the compressor like this, and it'll come right out. If you try it any other way, you'll bend the lines and it'll just be a pain. So yeah, just like that. So as you can see here, this inverter is brown, and this is caused by heat. Obviously, if the condenser fan is not removing heat, this compressor will get extremely hot and destroy the inverter. So this is the cut line. No problem. We'll just reconnect the new line to the side of the fridge, as I'll show you later on at the end of the video. So let's install the inverter. And a quick question I had: if you are a technician or some type of maintenance guy, just leave that in comments below. That way I don't know exactly what type of videos, or if you would like to just tell me what type of videos you would like to make. So back to the topic, here's the new inverter. We're going to install it the same way we removed the other one. Get this out. Here we go. So I will leave in the description below this inverter if you need it. I recommend the OEM part if you can find it. So you'll basically just slide it in the same way you took the other one out. This way it fits right into place, and then you'll press it towards the left so you'll have room to connect all the harnesses. So the first thing you want to connect would probably be the ground wire, because it's kind of in the back, and then you'll connect the prong that connects to the compressor. So you have 3 pins coming out the compressor, and you have 3 pins that of the harness, I guess you would say. You want to make sure they're aligned correctly and not offset or upside down. Here later on I'll show you a little bit better picture of that. So yeah, just take your time and gently slide that ground wire on, and just try not to bend the copper lines in front of you. Definitely have good lighting. There we go. So now we're going to connect the prong. So as you can see, you have, let me turn it around. So you have 3 holes there. So you want to make sure it's the same way the 3 prongs that come out of the compressor. So we'll go this way, and we'll have a good light and make sure all the prongs are connected exactly into the 3 holes. Like that. I don't know if you can see that. You can see they're all 3 aligned. There we go. That's better. So yeah, make sure they're all 3 exactly in the holes. And you'll just press it in flat against the compressor. Okay, to install this inverter, you have a little lip on the compressor, and this inverter has a little lip that you have to put over the lip on the compressor, if that makes sense. You can probably look at it and see what I'm talking about better once you do the job. But then you'll lip it over the lip of the compressor, and then you'll press it down. And you have a little hole, the same hole. You have to line that hole up with the Phillips that you removed from the beginning of the video. So you'll overlap that lift on the compressor, and you'll press it down to where this hole lines up with the inverter. And then that's when you take the not the quarter bit, but the Phillips screw, and tighten that inverter into the compressor. So here's a better angle, and you'll just take a hand tool. If you have a drill that's not too powerful, you can use a drill, but yeah, just if it doesn't go in there though, it means you don't have it exactly aligned, and definitely have good lighting so you can make sure it is aligned correctly. And what you're going to do now, you're going to connect all your harnesses, your 120 volt and your DC volt, and then we're going to connect the ground wire that comes from the inverter to the housing of the fridge. And we'll do that in the front this time. So we'll connect our 120. This is main supply, and then this DC voltage is what activates the inverter. So we'll reconnect this one. And right here we're going to connect the ground wire. That way it can be grounded. So just take your quarter bit and remove the quarter bit screw. And then you're just going to put that ground wire right there and screw it right in. Okay, great. So let's plug it in and see what happens. It should turn on. Usually these things take a good anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds to turn on the compressor. So don't freak out if it doesn't turn on right away. Give it a few minutes, or not minutes, but a few seconds, anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds. So as you can see, the unit did turn on, and that's, like I said, a common problem with these things when they don't turn on if they have the inverter. And definitely check out the fan always. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, just leave in the comments below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. If not done so already, please like and subscribe for more future tips and videos. We appreciate your support. And also, I'd like to give a thanks for all my Super Thanks supporters and tips. I really appreciate it, and thank you, and have a good day.